On May 2nd, 2020, CSX's Q327 was departing Holland, Michigan with 158 cars of mixed freight when on the hill leading out of town, the second engine stopped pulling, stalling out the train. With the city of Holland cut in half, the crew would ultimately split the train and take the head end to the next siding. Then they came back for the rear end, which is where we joined the action. By now, the second engine was no longer being difficult and available to help pull the train. We moved up to the siding at Saugatuck, expecting the train to be doubled back together here. However, Q327's crew was running low on hours, and their counterpart Q326 was due soon, so they elected to take the rest of the train ahead to the next siding at Wells and finish sorting it out later. The 9,150-foot siding at Wells was installed along with centralized traffic control in the 1940s, located south of the nearby town of Fenville and the old siding, which was deemed inadequate. The siding got its name from the local station agent at the time, one of those neat stories about how a railroad place got its name. While this railroad today sees only a handful of daily trains, it once played host to several times more as recently as 10 years ago. Despite this, the siding has never been updated to welded rail, so much of the stick rail dates back to the days when the siding was originally installed, and the track is limited to just 10-mile-an-hour operation. At any rate, shortly after Q327 was clear of the main line, Q326 appeared at the other end. With the crew change on the way for Q327, he wasn't going anywhere anytime soon, so we raced back up to a spot just beyond the Saugatuck siding to once again catch the Q326. As we saw at Wells, he's got a significant loaded stone cut on the head end and is running in a DPU configuration with one unit on each end of the train. An hour later, Q327 had their new crew, and we found them heading back for the rest of their train, seen here ascending Saugatuck Hill. The dispatcher first routed them down the main at Saugatuck so the crew could place the rear end marker, in this case just a simple flag. Next, they'll return to the west end of the pass and get lined onto the waiting cut. After making the air test and knocking off the handbrakes, they began the run back to Wells and the rest of the train with the original head end of the consist. Climbing out of the Kalamazoo River Valley, they rolled through the S-curve at 131st Avenue. At the west end of Wells, it was finally time to put it all back together. With the conductor on point to protect the shove and make the joint, they pushed back into the siding and onto the rear of the train, making it whole once again. While all of the formalities such as air brake testing and handbrake releasing were taking place, we skipped ahead to the next siding at Grand Junction. At 8,350 feet in length, it is actually one of the shorter sidings on the subdivision. Of particular interest is that this point is still used as a maintenance of way base, complete with a ballast dump track, laydown area for materials, and even an old equipment and crew building. The spot we're standing on is not actually trespassing, but is rather the Kalamazoo South Haven Rail Trail, which is the other line that put the junction in Grand Junction. For a final look at the train, we trekked down to Coloma, which is a great example of the countless small towns in rural America which grew up along the tracks. Thanks for watching this edition of the Thornapple River Rail Series. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and as always, leave any thoughts or questions down in the comments below.